Frenemies Yahoo and Google are planning to team up. Yahoo will run search ads supplied by Google in hopes to generate extra annual revenue. This comes after Microsoft's bid for Yahoo resulted in a no deal. Joining us to talk about what all this means for the tech industry is Michael Arrington, co-founder of TechCrunch. Welcome, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, and real basic question for you. Your basic internet user, like myself, knows the name Yahoo Google, but can you explain what does this merger mean?
Yeah, it won't mean much to the end user right now. What Yahoo has agreed to do is take the marketing part of search, which is all the advertising that appears when a user searches, and offer part of that to Google in the hopes that Google will monetize it better than Yahoo has been able to do themselves. The reason why they're doing this is they're hoping to get more money and possibly stay independent against Microsoft and other suitors a little bit longer.
So tell us, Michael, how do Yahoo and how does Google win? How do both of these companies win?
It's tough to see how Yahoo at this point can win. And in fact, today actually marks the 1-year anniversary of the day that CEO Jerry Yang took over. So he was one of the founders of the company in the 90s, was never CEO, became CEO a year ago with, at the time, a strong vision to take the company forward, lead in their space, monetize search, etc. Almost none of that has happened. Instead, what's happened is we've had a mass exodus of executives from the company, and they've lost massive search market share, and generally speaking, people are not bullish on the company. So it's sort of interesting that it comes at this point. If you look at Google, they're much stronger than they ever were. Google has about 60% of the market share in search in the United States. They probably have more like 80% or even more of the search advertising dollars in the United States. And so when you look at the total size of the advertising market online, that means Google probably has somewhere around 40% of all online ad dollars. So every time a dollar is spent online in advertising, Google gets it. I'm sorry, Google gets 40 cents of that. So Google wins. And by getting additional traffic from Yahoo, they get all of that traffic, they get all of those dollars, most of which they have to pay back to Yahoo, but it makes them bigger. It makes them more attractive for all the advertisers to go to them. And so it sort of makes their whole network bigger. They're clearly the winner. I expect them to see their search market share grow even more over the 60% that they have today.
And Michael, speaking of winners and losers, how about Microsoft? They lost out on their bid for Yahoo. Are they the big loser in this?
Yeah, I certainly think that the worst case scenario happened from their point of view. When they made an offer to acquire Yahoo on February 1, I think there were probably 3 outcomes at that point. 1, they acquire Yahoo. 2, somehow Yahoo stays independent. Or 3, Yahoo outsources their search to a third party. It would have to be Google. It seems pretty clear that of those 3, Microsoft obviously wanted to acquire Yahoo, but a second place finish of getting rid of the number 2 competitor in the space and bringing it down to just 2 players may not have been the worst possible outcome either. And so at this point, the playing field from Microsoft's point of view is it's them against Google. It's no longer them against Yahoo and Google.
And very briefly, you know, when you've got 2 internet giants that combine, there are some concerns. Can you explain what those are?
Well, there certainly are antitrust concerns. Now, in this case, the deal that Yahoo has done with Google is not a merger. It's simply the outsourcing of some of its search to Google, and that's a business development deal, which has a different level of review by the Department of Justice. And so, over the next couple of months, this deal will be reviewed, and a couple of congressmen have come out and said, you know, we're going to put our eye on this and make sure that we think it complies with the antitrust laws. I personally think that there are some places where they can stumble, where Google simply gets too much power in search, and the government might say this deal doesn't work and unwind it. It'll be interesting to see what happens if the deal does get unwound in the next few months. What happens to the executive team at Yahoo? What happens to the Yahoo stock price? Can it fall any more than it has? And then, does Microsoft step in and buy them at that point for half the price or less than they offered earlier this year?
Thanks a lot, Michael. This is a really provocative discussion. That's certainly a story that's going to develop. Michael Arrington, co-founder of TechCrunch, thank you very much.
Thanks.